Good afternoon, everybody. So it's like noon. It is Saturday, January 4th. So, guys, last night I set a catch and release mouse trap that I brought from Walmart. If you guys want to know like what trap I use to catch the mouse, I made a video about it on my channel, Butterfly Spirit 314. On that video, I talk about like some of the things I had to do um, in order to catch the mouse. I also talk about the trap that I used in particular because I didn't want to kill the mouse. I wanted to release him to be, humane and stuff like that because I still wanted him to have a life and stuff like that. Even though he's been making my life a living hell for for the last like month and a half. So yeah. Anyway, so this video is about my thoughts on the thoughts that I have after catching the mouse and releasing him. One of the things is that my thoughts are that, I want to work on making sure that I can try to make sure that I don't leave food out, you know, and unattended for too long. I also am going to be working on like making sure I don't leave food in my trash can in my kitchen that doesn't have a lid. Also, I'm going to work on, like in terms of not leaving food out, like I'm going to make sure that like I don't leave any like small crumbs and stuff like that. And I know it's totally easy to leave like crumbs of food and everything, but mice look for that. They definitely do. They look for, food that's kind of just been, food that maybe is sitting on top of your fridge or sitting on your kitchen counters and stuff. So for me, what I'm going to be doing um, is I'm going to be making sure that I, make sure I regularly empty my trash, so that I don't have food in there, when I'm like gone and stuff. So I make sure I do that. And then also I'm going to make sure like clean up any crumbs or anything that could fall on the floor, or anything, because that attracts mice too. And especially with it being cold right now, it's like January. So that can really attract a lot of mice. And a lot of times they're attracted to into your house or my house because of the heat, or because of the fact that there's still food that's lying around. So that's a good thing to do, guys. Like if you have any food, even if it's any kind of like food for your dog or food for your cat or something, and it's just sitting out for hours at a time, and your dog or cat is not getting to it, it's important to, make sure that you take that food. Now, I don't have any pets, but make sure you take that food. Don't let food just sit out because sometimes mice are going to be eating the dog food or eating the cat food that you're just leaving out. Even, it's shocking if somebody has a cat that mouse to be eating the food, but yeah, So, very important to look for that. What kind of tipped me off that there was an issue with a mouse was that I found it was a snake in my basement. It was like a little gray snake. On my channel, I showed a video of myself releasing that snake, so you guys can check that out on my channel, Butterfly Spirit 314. And you can see that it's probably like a couple months ago, maybe, that I released the snake into my backyard. And I haven't seen him since, so he's since like moved on and stuff, which is awesome. So for me, what I'm going to do is aim to be cleaner than what I have been. I do sew, so I have a lot of fabric, so that could end up being nesting material, but the mice are not going to eat they're not going to end up eating the fabric. They're not going to do that. In fact, they've stayed away from my fabric, and what they have been doing is, they've just basically been looking for food. So I'm going to try to take any kind of food that's kind of, anything that, food that's been just kind of out. Like I had some bird seed. I saw that there was a mouse that like chewed through the plastic of the bird seed. So I ended up throwing that bird seed out because I've had that bird seed for a long time, and I had it like with a rubber band around it, but the mouse ended up finding it. So I just threw that out because I wasn't using it. Um, so, that's kind of, those are some of the things I'm going to be doing. Watching to see if I see any new mouse droppings or anything like that, in the places that I've seen the mouse or whatnot. And also not being afraid if I do see one. If I do see one, seeing a mouse is verbal confirmation that the mouse is actually there. And it wasn't until last night, like I've seen flashes of the mouse, like I'm running past, and stuff. Um, but I didn't get a clear picture of him until last night when I brought the catch release trap. So there's like two of them. And like I said, if you guys want to find out what trap I use, you can watch the video I just posted today. I also have a video I posted of a video where you guys can see the mouse that I actually caught, and he's actually in the trap and stuff. I ended up releasing him at least 15 to 20 miles away from my house. If you catch a mouse in your house, um, it's a good idea to release the mouse at least 2 miles away, according to like the package instructions for that trap. I went beyond that and I released the mouse at least like 15 to 20 miles away. And I'm going to tell you guys, when I release that mouse, what I am going to tell you guys is that particular mouse, he bolted from out of that trap once I opened the door. He bolted. He was gone. And in fact, I named him Flash because of how quick he is. So his name was Flash, but Flash is gone now. He's 20 miles away, and stuff. And I let him go in an area that had brush and stuff like that and stuff. So a hawk or a falcon wouldn't get him or anything. Because if I release him in an open area, then some huge birds may have gotten to him. So I still wanted him to have just a life outside of my house. So anyway, um, I just am glad that he's gone, but I am gonna continue to watch and see if there's any other mice that are gonna be showing up or whatever. So that is something I'm gonna say. And one thing, guys, is that when I was waking up this morning, I don't know why, but spiritually, I had this feeling of this relief. Like I was finally able to rest easier. And it wasn't until I woke up, it was because the mouse was caught. He was actually caught. So, and he was alive. I believe he was in the trap for about looks like maybe he could have been in the trap for maybe like 4 hours or something like that, or a couple of hours at least, because there was a lot of mouse poops in there from him. And one mouse can poop a lot. So you may think in your house you may think you're dealing with a colony of mice, but really it might just be one mouse doing that, like pooping and stuff like that and stuff. I didn't smell any kind of urine coming from the mouse or anything like that, so he probably wasn't peeing, on surfaces and stuff. Some people say they might have a smell, but he didn't have any. I didn't smell any of his urine or whatever. I just saw the poops he had. He did get into the dish, where like I have my dishes, like after I wash the dishes and I put the dishes in the draining rack. He did get in there, so he did do that. And so I saw a couple of mouse poops and stuff in there. But yeah, they will get on your stove. They will crawl into your pots and pans if they're on the stove. They'll crawl under it, and things like that. Even if you like try to clean with like a disinfectant wipe or whatever, or a sponge or whatever, with soap and bleach or whatever, the mouse will come back, and they will use that path. It is a good idea to find out where they're coming from so that you know where they're going. When I pushed my stove back, and in the video I posted, I showed you guys like where the mouse was coming from, like where he was escaping to in my kitchen. So he was basically coming from behind the kitchen, and he was doing some kind of Spider-Man thing, because that mouse was gone. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I don't know. It's like he was using his claws to climb up the wood in the back of, like there was like some wood behind like the sink and stuff like that, behind like the cabinets and stuff. So he was climbing up that from like behind the sink and stuff. So he was coming from there. So yeah. But I found out where he was coming from because when I moved the stove back, I saw him like come forward towards me or whatever and stuff. But then he kind of went back, and I didn't really get a clear view of him. But yeah, I found out where he was coming from, and that is important too. So you guys like know, and it's important to know mice love clutter. Now I have fabric, so I kind of can't help it because I have a lot of fabric that I'm in the process of organizing right now. But in fact, I think I should go ahead and organize that fabric um, some more today. So anyway, yeah, my thoughts is that I'm gonna try to be a lot more vigilant, and things that I don't think of as food, the mouse is gonna think of as food, even if it's like a little tiny crumb, you know. Yeah, the mouse is gonna eat that. If you leave food out on your kitchen counters, if you leave cereal or whatever, like it's important to like store your food in like glass jars or whatever, like if it's cereal or sugar, like any kind of like seasonings and stuff, yeah, you definitely want to do that. But yeah, these are my thoughts on I'm having after catching, releasing the mouse. And I know it's wintertime, and that may not be the only mouse. I'm preparing myself for the fact that it might not be the only one, but he might just be the only one because in the past, when me and my boyfriend were together, we ended up catching a mouse, and it was only one mouse. And you'll be surprised, one mouse can cause a lot of havoc and stuff. The mouse that I caught, you know, he didn't chew on any wires or any of that stuff. He wasn't into that. He was into finding food. You know, he wasn't into chewing on extension cords and all that. That he wasn't into that. He wanted food. He wanted real food. That's what he wanted. So, but yeah. So, and we caught and we released that mouse and stuff, and that gave me the confidence to catch this mouse and stuff. So, um, and the catch release trap I used, it is really easy to set. The only thing about catching a mouse in a catch release trap is the mouse is so light that you have to make sure, like, if you do use the trap that I showed in my video, um, then you have to make sure the little ramp that the mouse is going to go up, you have to put some weight on that. I used a quarter, and I kind of tested the trap a little bit to see what it would take, like how heavy the ramp needed to be to catch the mouse. And I actually I put like a quarter on there. Um, and the quarter I actually put on there was heavy enough. You know, it was heavy enough, like by itself, it wasn't enough to cause the trap to basically close the door. Um, it wasn't, but I had to take in consideration the quarter plus the little mouse's weight was going to be enough to set up the trap, and it was. And I, after testing, it worked. And it took me about 8 hours to catch a mouse while I was sleeping. So while I was sleeping, the mouse was caught. So, and I could tell he was in there for a while because his little mouse poops was in there. And do you know what? He was still. I put a Brussels sprout in there. This mouse did not like peanut butter. He didn't care for no peanut butter. When I put peanut butter in there, he didn't care. You know, he didn't care about the peanut butter. Mm-mm. No, he wanted actual real food. So I did. I saw on my counter that I had left some Brussels sprouts out, and that something had been eating it. That's how I knew that there was the mouse was the issue. Um, and I realized I was like, oh, he likes Brussels sprouts. Oh, okay. So I put a little piece of Brussels sprout in there. You know, after I tried the peanut butter, and put it into like the back of the trap, set it in there. You know, made sure I had the quarter balance on that ramp. And then by the time the little mouse came on there and put his little weight on there to get that Brussels sprout, got him. And you do have to make sure in your kitchen, make sure that you clean your sinks, make sure there's no food on the count, like on the like your kitchen counters or anything, nothing on your tables or anything, and you're good. you know, and then that's gonna be the only food that the mouse can get. And basically, when the mouse climbed into the trap to get that Brussels sprout, he was basically saying, "I give up. I give up. This is the only food I can find. Okay, at least I'll have some food to survive." You know, so he gave up. I did release him, like I said, guys. So yay. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I gotta go get my breakfast. Thank you for watching. Bye.